Hi, guys. Sorry. Hi, happy full moon. Come on in. Listen, I thought I was like adjusting the Zoom, but I didn't realize that I hit record. But hey, friends, how are you doing? I didn't. Lord have mercy. I didn't even take all of our fun Halloween decks out. Um, I was still printing the chart, child. It's a little crazy over here. We make it work though. Listen, grab your coffee, grab your tea, have some coffee. Let me get us adjusted a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. We got some nice light. I printed our chart. Remember last time I was in my toner struggle, but I have since gotten it together. Let me not jinx myself. Who's going to come down with us? We've got our ocean jasper. People often ask me what this is because it's beautiful. Ironically, it always reminds me of the lakes on the East Coast, and algae and pine trees and quartz. But anyway, let's get our owl down, our adorable bat, of course. Can we just look? I mean, how stinking cute. What else do we have, guys? Happy full moon in Aries. It's a super full moon, and to me, I know, listen to me breathing, right? Okay. Super full moon in Aries, okay? And it feels like I keep tapping into, and I was talking about this in another collective read and some other readings. Y'all look at the what am I saying? Jack-o'-lantern? Dang. It's Aries energy, okay? So I feel like it's just also bear with me because my Mars is in Aries. And so is my Venus, child. Let's get our moss agate skull. We do love our moss agate here. That's one of my shamanic, like partnering stones. I'm about to put all these stones on this paper, knowing good and well Spirit's gonna have me writing things, I'm sure. Oh, child, I was like, where were we going with that? The thing that I am tapped into, it feels so good. It feels so refreshing to me. Excuse me, there's so much potential. There's so much potential. It just feels like a newness. And I kept tapping into in other readings, like shooting up what were we saying? A flare into the dark sky. It's very beautiful. It feels like it feels fresh. I think it's so powerful to have a super full moon in Aries. Very courageous, very brave, very well, now's the time to grow. I'm hearing, I don't want to grow up. Da, da, da. We're growing up though. I'm sorry. Hate to spoil the ending. We are. It's very, so a lot of things when I was sitting with this energy, a lot of things that are coming through are very beautiful. Again, it bears repeating that we've come out of that deep. It was very lunar. It was very North Node Pisces. It was very deep. The eclipse portals, again, they will ripple out for months yet to come. That is the nature of them. It's very interesting to also consider when we come to the fall and the harvest season and we experience, it's kind of funny because, I mean, by all technicalities, but what's a technicality, right? Your life, your intuition, your spirit gang, do it how your spirit feels led to do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't mind me. But I find it fascinating that the Pisces North Node, the eclipse portal, I say lunar eclipse portal because that was the predominant ruling bigger energy. Yes, I do understand that we still have a closing bookend that was a partial solar. But that eclipse portal, technically you would say that full moon was a harvest moon. It has to do like with where it falls and all this. And we were making comments in collective videos that like, Wow, harvest kind of feels early, right? But what is a Gregorian calendar? We may evaluate things in wave spells. We may add and return to our additional 13 moon cycles. There's so many way, right? The wheel of the year. So I mean, what is time? But excuse me. Oftentimes we will come into, okay, what? I'm sorry. Spirit said, hold on. We don't have the packet of my candle lighters yet, but Spirit is wanting us to energetically cleanse the space. Should we do bells? Do I have, hold on, I'm going to grab my singing bowl, you guys. Hold on. Let me get a smaller one. Where are my other bells, though? Child. Look, we're in creation mode. We're making candles. We're doing boo boxes. Child, I don't know where those other bells are. Did I use my extra bells for the reeds in the in the llamas? I don't know. Listen, friends. We're gonna use our smaller singing bowl. So if you listen, if you have earbuds in, first of all, I'm gonna sip my coffee the whole time. So I'm so sorry if like that's not your kind of ASMR. Okay. No, I don't have the microphone for that. Somebody told me they would totally listen to that. And I'm like, would you really? I had an inspiration. Ooh, Spirit. Spirit is bringing this back to me right now. I need to write it down. Guys, I went through this phase. See, this is the energy that I'm talking about. It's a newness. It's an inspiration. It's exciting. If you can be grounded and let the emotional tides kind of wash through you, I really feel that this super full moon in Aries is like, hey, I see someone. Remember how we were talking about the jack-o'-lantern, a lantern going out and shining it? Now I'm seeing someone like walk into a room where, okay, Spirit is showing me they put things on shelves, and it was like, I needed you to wait for the right time. So funny because we were just saying, what is time? Spirit is so funny. The universe, your higher self, right? Your guides, the angels, the stars, etc., all in one. Right? Aries energy, high vibrational frequency is definitely I am. I am the I am. You are the I am, right? So Spirit is showing me this image of a girl. I don't know why she looks younger. That could be an inner child reference of creativity and inspiration. But she's walking in and she's blowing dust off things on this shelf. And it's very like dunk, clunk, 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 like she's going upstairs. You know what it gives? It gives like OG 90s vibes, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or like Halloween Town. And like, it's so funny because of the way that the time loopings are happening. Spirit is confirming this and saying, let's do the time warp again. They use that as a song. Hear me out. Okay, my guys. They're colorful. Okay, don't judge us. That song, though, I've learned that my spirit team and my higher self will give me like song snippets to confirm things. Let me pause. Spirit said you're supposed to be cleansing the space. You're right. So listen, if you have earbuds in, we're going to do three taps on the singing bowl. We're going to cleanse because, child, we can't, like the Palo Santo right now. I mean, you know, we've always got essential oils dispersed everywhere, but let's cleanse the space and love and light and just let this beautiful purity of frequency come in to be of service to all in the highest and best good and harming none. We're going to clear and set our intentions for beautiful energetic activations, manifestations, things that we channel, space that we hold together. We create energetic timelines and frequencies of health, wealth, and abundance, of ascension, of growth, of healing and self-awareness, of beauty. Spirit wants me to say of Venusian beauty. Okay. Okay, it's Libra season. You're right. That's a very Venusian season. So here we are setting our intentions. I hope that you release things that do not serve your highest and best good. I hope you seek clarity. I hope that a lot of the energy and the frequency of this full moon container feels bright to you. So let's go ahead and cleanse the space. Again, if you've got earbuds or anything going on, I'll give you a little countdown in 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Okay. I love it. Ooh, don't we need it? I mean, we need about 9. We need about 27. Nah. What's really beautiful to me is this image that Spirit is giving me of going in, and it's very like she's taking her lantern and she's going, oh, I gotta be quiet. Like the steps are creaking. She goes up. It's like a hidden away attic. You know the vibes that I'm hitting on, and she finds. Spirit is saying Narnia. Maybe Spirit is giving these little nuggets of inner childlike places, whether it be in a story, a movie, a film. Maybe you went to a place where you found something as a child, or this could also be very metaphorical for you having the bravery in a very Mars and Scorpio, super full moon in Aries, right? Type of way of saying, I gotta go back. I gotta get this. It's very like now is the time. Now I'm hearing, oh shoot, where is it from? Now's the time. Now is the hour. Give us the something. Give us the power. Now is the time. Now is the hour. Y'all, what were the words? I really don't want to bring the keyboard out. Oh shoot. You are sickened by the weakness. Burn, 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 burn. What is the song? You guys, is that The Craft? Listen, thank you, sweet souls, if you're new here. When we open up and we tap in and Spirit starts taking us and things are being channeled, it feels very ADD. And I love you so much. Stay with us. Now is, oh, The Craft. Y'all, Lord, that movie changed my life. I don't want to forget it. Now is the time. Whoa, Spirit is hit. There's so many. It's just a loop of, now I'm hearing, with every season, dun, 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 dun. It's almost like Spirit is looping through timelines, but I see them like folding back on themselves and stacking. It's like making a foundation for a new timeline. It's 10:10 on my clock right now. Wow. Whoa, this energy. I knew it was going to hit like this as soon as we tapped in. Woo, child, I'm going to be doing full moon group readings today, too. This energy is going to be something else. What is that song, you guys? You are sickened by the weakness of a heart that's something, something. What's the word? Full of fear? What is that song? So the girl is going up the attic and she's carrying her lantern and she had, oh, here come the keys again. Spirit said, get the key out. Okay. If you watch the collective read, she's got a key. And oh shit, that's crazy too, because once again, Spirit is bringing this key back, the Hecate, the crosswords. What? Maybe someone does crosswords. Hey, I love me a good crossword. She has the key now. So I'm not seeing this visualization, but somehow it's sensed and understood that she had went on different journeys and she been through some shit. Okay. I don't know, because she's a little girl, but maybe she's going back in time. Now I'm remembering this quantum physics article that I read about going back in time with EMDR, the different therapies, shamanic work, plant-aided medicinal trips. When you go back in time, because our bodies, our intercellular matrix is connected to all that is, so are our brains and neuronic pathways as with the collective consciousness, right? Okay, so when we go back in time and we heal and we rewire and we make new pathways, it's a very butterfly effect. Do you get what I'm saying? So all that to say, take this as metaphorically as you need. And you know how it goes. Sometimes Spirit just gives me these visualizations. And you would think that this is wild as hell. It is, right, friend? Hold my hand. It's wild to me too, but I channel it. But me and my friends and my soul family and people I get to do beautiful life work with, I just really loathe calling anyone a client because you guys are my family. I hate that. I rebuke that. Okay. We're family. We make energetic exchanges and it's not about money. So that's why I don't really like saying that word. But I'll tap into these beautiful visuals. that spirit gives me. It's the jack-o'-lantern, you guys, shining it in the dark. Remember the lantern? Spirit. And then we'll have conversations and somebody will say, remember when you were given that reference? Well, that was so crazy because this teacher was telling me, or I had a meditation. It all connects, right? Sometimes I think when we cannot all be, having air sign stelliums, Lord have mercy. Look, it's not for the weak. I'm going to tell you, don't be envious, child. We articulate as such, but sometimes when spirit gives visuals in this way, like Sabian symbols, or we could look at a star chart. There's a lot of different ones, right? Some people can tap in and connect in a very inside your inner child collective consciousness way with a visual or even a part of it. Or sometimes that will take you back to a memory, or you'll be like, oh shit, that reminds me of the first time I saw Halloween Town. And then when I was a little girl, and then I found a feather, and I don't know, you get what I'm saying? There's something about connecting new paths. Hello again, Hecate, crossroads energy. So the little girl goes up. She has this key. Spirit is just saying she worked hard, take it as you will, to get this key. Now she goes into the door. And she, and it's like maybe it's a bureau, maybe it's a cabinet. But it almost gives her ancestors. Okay, now I'm seeing, what the heck am I seeing? What? Okay, I feel like you wouldn't know unless you understood the whole body of Anne Rice work. If you're a reader, shout out. I love my book nerds and readers. Anne Rice is like epic, amazing. What was the name of the Nolans witches, honey? I hate that I'm brain farting. But also now Spirit is also showing me, Spirit is helping you to understand how this works, I'm told, because now is the time, now is the hour. Give us the keys, give us the power. Something like this. Now's the time, now's the time. Spirit is like showing me, Spirit wants to connect all the neural. Wow, Spirit, slow it down. Okay, I'm sorry. I know my Mars is an Aries spirit, but you're moving real fast. Okay, Spirit wants to be able to have as many people as possible connecting into these new portals, to amplify the waves of this energy, and we can kind of move in a more cardinal way. Aries is cardinal fire. And clear new directions if we can. It's something like cleaning up old pathways. So the ways that you can connect in storylines and books and film and different ways are great because they all have messages and they connect to our energy in different ways. So Spirit is kind of showing me how, like, Harry Potter would find different things in Hogwarts, but he had to go through alchemical type of journeys that challenged him, and da 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 da. And then he would go, oh my gosh, and he would find, wow, a key or a stone, or, pick your, the epitome of everything. Whoa, a soul and a Horcrux. You know what I'm saying? Spirit is showing me now, switching gears to Discovery of Witches, and how the old house, excuse me, held, oh my gosh, if you've read the trilogy, hello, amazing trilogy, Discovery of Witches, and the house held all these things, right? And then also, what did Sabrina? I can't remember. But in Halloween, you can find a common thread, and it can be very metaphorical, but it can come back down, and you can understand. We're going back to the girl, and she opens the closet, and it's like, what was it in Anne Rice, you guys? Like, the family had kept all these things. Wasn't she in the house when she found her way to all these things that the generations of witches had been? And it was like Poppet Doll. It was all these things. That was a little bit darker. Okay, Love and Light. We're not really aiming for what their family was doing, but stay with me. Spirit's like, they'll understand what they need to. So she's going to this shelf, and maybe it's a bureau. Maybe she opens the door, or it's just a shelf. And maybe this is her past, present, or future self going back with her childhood self. Maybe she put those things there, or her ancestors did. Spirit is saying those are actually one and the same, if you can understand that. She's picking up something and blowing it off the shelf. Maybe this is metaphorical for a project you go back to. There's some sort of new pattern, and there's light being shown on it. It's a discovery. It could be something that pushes you forward in a new direction. Of course, we've seen that, again, that came through in the collective messages yesterday. What was it? The Chariot? Yeah. Of course, we know I'm not really getting any more off that, by the way. She just reaches the shelf really slowly, and she's like, she can see she's shining the light on something. Wow. She's picking it up off the shelf. Maybe you could experimentally journey and work with that frame of visualization, and maybe Spirit will take you to your higher self. And that's a beautiful journey. Actually, you could meet with your higher self, and please be protected and know how to hold your space and set your intentions. So you make sure you're working with the right guides and energy. Okay, but that could be very enlightening. Maybe for some, there's something about being open to allow a space. But I mean, we are talking about a super full moon, right? And a full moon. Some sort of clarity can come through. We might decide it's time to release something, or we can be gifted something. Sometimes full moons are grieving, and sometimes they're very celebratory. All of our paths are unique and different, aren't they? So your journey is unique to you. But I mean, I'm not surprised at how this feels, this newness, this awareness, this let's dust off. Let's go into this new phase. It could be growth. It could be like independence toward a new goal, inspiration towards a new creative collaboration. I think collaboration comes in too, because we're at an axis when we consider the full moon being in Aries. Super full moon, even moving closer in its orbit towards the earth, we feel it a lot stronger, right? It's going to look brighter, depending upon where you are in the weather, of course. There's a desire. It's really interesting. There's an attunement, but the sun is in Libra. So it's a very interesting axis. Here's another thing I was going to say. Even though the eclipse portal felt a little earlier, so to speak, and now we're in October, and it can really still feel like, wow, is this the harvest moon? And if that's what it feels like to you, I think that's great. We're still in the third leg, the latter leg. Libra season transition into Scorpio, getting closer to Samhain, is closing up the harvest season soon. But this would be the time where you would be like making the last effort, the last push, right? It's interesting though, when we get to this time of the full moon, it's like a series. This could be very reflective of what the North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra taught us last year's cycles. This is kind of the last bubble, a pocket, if you will, to revisit that. What did you learn about relationships? What did you learn about your I am awareness, your high vibrational frequencies in relation to Aries? What lessons are maybe really culminating in a big pocket of alchemy and maybe realization? Am I being authentic? Do I know myself? How am I feeling about my relationship agreements and emotional bonds and soul contracts? Am I autonomous? How do I do with like dependency, codependence? There's a lot of dynamics you could really sit and examine. Maybe put a pin note if you resonate with that, and go back to the lessons that we were bringing in last year from that North and South Node axis, because here we are tapping into that energy. And now what will be so fascinating is now we have a new pocket, and that will ripple through into next year, into next spring as well. So that's really fascinating to, excuse me, guys. It's a lot better, but again, I'm so sorry for coughing in your ear. We're still healing over here from that respiratory funkiness. I think that it's really interesting. Here is our, here's our sun. We've got 14 degree points, which for me is the energy of 5. And 5s in like fire and air, right? 5 energy for me, because, I'm going to think about the tarot as well and the minors. The 5s are different challenges. And I think if you sometimes have like a negative mindset, you're going to be like, oh, somebody's coming to fight me again, or 5 of swords. Someone wants to argue, but that masculine 5 energy, right? Air 5s and fire 5s, right? Air 5s and fire 5s. That's very masculine. And it's this energy of saying, we wrestle with our own self-imposed belief systems. We may wrestle with our old patterns, old mental patterns that challenge. Why do you believe this? Are you really still fighting for this? Is it time to, y'all know I love that phrase and it keeps coming out. I ain't got a dog in the fight. It's very much that time. It's very much that time right now in the collective where you are looking forward to the future. Maybe you're connecting and collaborating and receiving this beautiful next phase of energy. This beautiful, authentic, maybe it feels very inspirational. Assertive energy for sure, 5s, masculine, air and fire. We do want to find balance on, is this really the time to assert myself? Is what I'm speaking out in truthfulness for, is it helpful? Am I contributing to a better resolution? Am I being brave? Am I being courageous? Am I working from a higher vibrational Aries energy? Because look, this energy could get real chaotic. This is not the energy where we want to find ourselves. Again, please understand that when someone pulls you out of your alignment and let's say they want an argument or they are triggered or they, et cetera, this is outside of you. Do you really have to confirm your rightness? You know what I mean? Is that really being courageous, or are we just arguing? Are we speaking our truth in a way that's really going to contribute? Are we in a group that is an echo chamber or a sounding board? Sometimes it's very wise and discerning, right? Virgo years, Virgo energy. This is a big divine sovereignty energy. Whoa, how about we write the whole letter? Y'all, am I spelling it right? We're going to hope for the best. Divine sovereignty. If I understand the level of cognitive dissonance in the room, in the group, in the chat, wherever you are in the community, at your job, please be really selective at your job, honey. Don't get me started, please. We need Aquarius, we need Virgo, we need a certain level of discernment and wisdom here. Tap in and call that in, okay? But I digress. Listen, if there is a certain level of cognitive dissonance, lack of self-awareness, it's kind of like that whole theme of what is it like? Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. I'm just going to leave them in whatever story they have about me in their mind. Here we come back again to detaching with compassion. What relationships am I really pouring my desire, my need, my consideration? Aries is very compassionate, a very powerful, almost like aggressively loving friend sometimes, and you kind of have to ask, like, where am I pouring that into? And we always too want to, when I work with a lot of Aries people who have big Aries placements, top 3, Mars, Venus, hello. When you have to remind those people that it is a tendency sometimes in a lower vibration of Aries that just needs some healing and needs some loving, because Aries tends to be very beautiful and passionate and childlike and playful and let's run forward. It's the forest fire that doesn't know its own power, and sometimes the shadow energy of that is like throwing a tantrum. This thing makes me think of like shadow moon in Aries type of energy. Just throwing a tantrum because you're so upset that you feel like people aren't seeing you. And the whole gag, right, we love to say it, the trick is, excuse me, honey, they don't need to see you. I feel led to write down. How do you spell, dang, y'all? Yeah, there's an I, sorry. Reclamation of your autonomy. I'm going to write I am. Obviously, lots of crown chakra energy, right? Big open time in the crown chakra with the other placements like, this last degree that we're really soaking up of Uranus and Gemini before Uranus goes on the journey back in Taurus one last time for a good long time, for close to a decade, right? And then we've got, Pluto still engaging with that Gemini placement. I'm saying this is very mental. It's a good time to go within. I affirm who I am. I see myself. I understand my needs and I honor that. And it doesn't have to be obsessively like that shadow energy again can be very unhealthy, childlike, kind of low key, not low key, I don't know, maybe narcissistic ish, selfish. I'm only thinking about myself, or codependent, like friend attachments, because you are just so hungry for someone to validate you and see you and just stuff like this. Those can be some shadow dynamics when it's really beautiful to see that Aries energy, right, amplified in a huge way right now with the super full moon. It's amazing to see them fully evolve into knowing who they are. And then it becomes like this light you can't even, whoa, and like everybody naturally then follows because it's cardinal fire. You want that magnetism to be from a grounded, rooted, self-evolved, healthy self-awareness. You do, because sometimes it can be a struggle with Aries energy. I think it goes without saying, we definitely have to write on our chart, bravery and courage is kind of the name of the game. I'm telling you, every Aries, including I feel like I resonate with my Aries gang because I have two big prominent placements, especially my Mars being in Aries. You got to love a good, brave ass Aries energy because they sure will just go right out and do something. They really will. And it's like, well, I guess we're going to ask for, what is it? Ask for apologies, not permission. Ask for forgiveness, not permission. I don't know. That's very Aries. Let's look at what's aspecting. I mean, I know, it, of course, big deal. Mars and Mercury are in Scorpio, for sure. Right? Look at this. I find this very interesting. You've got 10 degrees. And then it's like a 0, 0. I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? Honestly, that breaks down to one energy right there. I'm hearing, let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Everybody. Not for nothing. I know you see it. Look, Neptune at this crucial place. Ooh, Neptune in the Aries. Man, I think it's going to be almost for the remainder of October. What is it like? It's later, 22nd, 27th. I can't remember. Before boom, boom, boom. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about Neptune going back, swimming in Pisces for the last time. Hello, in a century plus. Child. So look, it's a beautiful time to really tap in, okay, to that Aries frequency. I love the 100000. Hello, this is the torch. This is the shooting the flare up in the night. I love that Mars and Mercury are in Scorpio, right? Do you see the square to Pluto? That is not a straight. Y'all, look. What is it? Any good artist can't draw a straight line or something, child? I know I can't. Do you see the activation, the engaging with Pluto in a square? It's really interesting because Pluto kind of trumps the board. But it is interesting that Mars and both Mercury are in Scorpio. So is Black Moon Lilith. Man, I'll tell you what, this is giving so Hecate is giving Kali Ma, this warrior. We did this whole this wasn't last year. Was this in 2023? The chariot year. Yeah, we did a lot of emotional body healing. Anyway, I did this Lilith candle series, and then I was doing all these chart readings helping people understand their Black Moon Lilith placements and what different Lilith placements are in your chart. Anyway, Spirit is bringing me back to this visual that Spirit kept showing us of like the dark feminine energy. Maybe it's the Morrigan for you. Maybe it is Eresh Kagal. Maybe it is Persephone and Hades. She goes down with the Pluto archetype, Hades, and ends up, what is it? You throw me to the wolves and I come back leading the pack type vibes. She's like, oh, haha, now I'm the queen of, that's very interesting. So all of these references, but at that time we were going through people's charts with this Lilith, with this Scorpionic, with this, she would come out and get the child. I'm sorry. I said that totally backwards. Forgive me. We're talking about Mars and Mercury, right? Squaring Pluto. And this is Scorpionic energy. The dark feminine goddess archetype, whatever sits with your soul, right? It will look different for all of us. And that's beautiful. That's okay. For me, in this season, it is very Hecate. I mean, I just keep seeing keys, good, gravy. So the dark goddess, she goes in. She's determined. I'm seeing a lot of bats. Maybe bats is resonant. She goes in to get the inner child. She had to, in fact, she and the child inside of the depth of the cave are one and the same. Do you understand what I'm saying? But she had to become Medusa. She had to become Hecate in a certain form, Lilitu in a certain form. Take it as you will. Because she had to go save the children. I'm sorry, y'all. My brain was like, the children! Save the children! No, but for real, listen, stay with me. She goes into the cave and she grabs these big burning drippy, like, these torches on the cave wall. And she's like, I don't know what we gonna have to do. And it might get intense. It might be emotional. I'm not really trying to be with the drama, but if it gets chaotic, we can mirror, you know what I'm saying? We can square up. Hello, Mars and Mercury, Spirit's with you. Divine, sovereign inspiration. A torch is lit. So she goes in by whatever means she has to go in, right? You can pick so many stories to metaphorically understand the journey. She finds the inner child. She saves the inner child. They become one. They go back out of the cave, and there she is. It's light. She has the inner child. They can now... oh, gosh, it's giving me... this is not who you are. Moana, you know who you are. It's very Tefiti. Sorry, it makes me so emotional. I'm like, girl, don't cry. No, but cry if you need to. But... It's a very tight square, but Mars and Pluto have kind of been going at it. They've been dancing for a minute, a little bit. So I feel like it's very, I don't know, it's almost like somehow Mercury lifts this up a little bit. And it's like, I have a different awareness. Maybe I've went with Hecate. Maybe I've went with Lilith. Maybe I've went with the dark feminine archetype many times down into this place. But now it's something is so different. It's kind of, again, the timelines folding back onto, I don't know. I see it like the 30s, the 60s, the 90s. And now is like, some kind of new foundation. Anyway, I don't know how to articulate these folding layers of time that I see. It's crazy. I don't know. Spirit almost gives me this feeling of like there's really not a way to articulate it, because in the dimensionalities that we reside in order for us to be healthy in our mental faculties, we'll continue to evolve, but it's like you can't do that all at once. If we unraveled what we're trying to teach you about laying new foundations of your experience of time, it would be too much. I don't know. I'm hearing Interstellar. The movie, maybe? What? Spirit. Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Spirit wants me to write it down. Interstellar. That could be a reference. You guys know I'm going to write down Atlas. Feel free to dig into, do we know it's a comet? We don't know for sure. There is some erratic movement. Atlas is definitely like streaking across the sky, and this whole gracing us in October vibration. So maybe that's what's lifting us up, and so that we can see it with a different level of self-awareness. You got to go back down in there, but when you come out, your mind's going to be different. I don't know. The way you think about this whole thing, I'm hearing it like this, is going to be different. That's so interesting, because the beginning visual Spirit was giving was the girl walking up and picking something back up that seemed old, blowing the dust off of it, shining light on it. That's so interesting. I love the newness. I love the freshness. I love the inspiration. I love the bravery and courage. But it's almost like there's a tether, okay, and we've got to make sure that we clear it. That can look different with all of us. We do have Sun and Libra. Maybe we're talking about something. Maybe we're in therapy. We have lots of air active on the board, reprogramming neuropathways. This could be, I don't know, I'm seeing healing. Okay, what? Healing from the belly to the mind. Maybe that's a health reference because of the Virgo year, but it's something like things can come to surface for sure. I'm hearing that I've got to break free. Okay. We've got to be able to like perceive something different. And Spirit is pressing that this is not outside of you. It's in you. This is all happening in you. This is such a big time. I don't know. I'm getting this big impression too, collectively, like it may get dark for a little while here, but hold on. And all of these like shine a light on it, lantern, all these references, perhaps Virgo being the Hermit card, is that we've been juicing up those lamps, okay, because we're going to need them. I don't know. I get this feeling we don't want to fall back down into a place where we forget how powerful we are. I am the I am. Spirit is saying again, you are the I am. What else do we have in this chart? So you could definitely maybe be looking at your 8th house and scorpionic frequencies, shadow work, wounds, trauma, different karmic or even familial things. We do have Jupiter in Cancer, right? Wisdom to be found there. But what else? What was I thinking with Saturn? Oh, Venus. Child, I'm going to try so hard to draw it straight. That's very interesting. 21 and 27. So we have Saturn in Pisces, right? Opposing Venus in Virgo. What an interesting juxtaposition of energy here. Do you see that? We've got Saturn. Do you see the opposition? It's not quite trapezoidal, but it's close. We almost have connecting legs between Mars and Venus and between Pluto and Saturn, but not quite. Pluto and Saturn's a little off. It's more hitting on the North Node, but do you see it's almost, sometimes we view these as parallel timelines and we look for the connection, but it's not quite there. So Saturn opposing Venus, right? Saturn, once again, that 27th degree of Pisces. Remember, Saturn going around the wheel, completing 29 and a half years, closing so many cycles, alchemizing, obliterating, elevating. It's like all this karma, right? We've been talking about that this year. It's so interesting, though, the Virgo energy and the Pisces energy. Again, You know, Venus and Virgo, you can't help. A lot of people, I feel, though, associate Venus with like love, relationships, sexual connection, and all of those things. They are accurate, a very 3D thing, but I always teach people about Venus starts on the inside in the heart chakra first, which is interesting because a lot of people who are not connected and don't really know each other keep channeling about this Atlas energy. Maybe a comet, we're not sure if we can call it that yet, right? Overarching, and October giving it this big, like, oh shoot, you guys, it makes me think of the visual where she was going through the forest. Remember? And it was like zoom when she got lifted up and shot into the sky. I wonder if that was like Atlas energy pulling you up. Interesting. But so Venus for me is very on the inside, self-worth, you know, abandonment wounds, things that are blockages to your heart chakra. Sometimes when we sit in that, sometimes we can even, Venus was kind of doing a little bit of dancing with the South Node, okay, and that kind of carries you into like past life territory. You could be healing past life or family karma type wounds, you know, cord clearing and cutting, stuff like that would be great. Hopefully we were doing that work in those Virgo new moon back-to-back portals. Remember, I don't know. It's kind of this beautiful, this opposition, Saturn and Pisces, right? We're really examining, like, I'm hearing that same line, what we were talking about from Home Alone. I'm not afraid of you anymore. It's this very like, you know, I'm okay with it all, actually, you know, and I love myself. And, I don't want to put the energy into just being scared of what if this happens, or scared if they leave me, or, I don't know, there's a dissolution of fear, which somehow is able to really bring us back to loving ourselves. And I think that is the root of the core. I think that there's a beautiful way that we can work with the super full moon being in Aries, and that bravery and courage, and then also engage in this opposition between Venus and Saturn. I think it's really tough. I know, I think with the Neptune at the 0 degree, you know, with some of these oppositions being activated in the Scorpionic territory as well, you know, super full moon in Aries energy might be shining a lot of light on people's shadows, especially when it comes to addictions. I don't know why I'm hearing addictions with like money, which ultimately reduces down to a fear of not being enough, which leads to consuming more. When we think about shadow Neptunian vibrations, shadow Pisces is definitely substance abuse for sure. It's definitely like we've got to work together as a collective to alchemize some of this heavy emotional density. It's been kind of sitting down, sludging in the bottom of the swamp for a long time. You know, obviously when Saturn activates Venus, it's going to be like, we got to grow up in the way we relate to ourselves. You know, if you don't really deal with the gunk that clogs up your heart, it's always going to affect how you relate to other people. So I think that's an interesting relationship dynamic that could come up. Those are the aspects that really stand out to me. And then of course, you know, we talked about a few other things here. We definitely do have air energy on the board. There's a lot of reprogram your mind. I'm hearing what is it? Something renewing yourselves by the, or something by the renewal of your mind. Ooh, not a Bible. Is that a Bible verse? I'm not mad at it. There's wisdom to be found everywhere if you know how to look at it and understand it properly. Yeah, something like that. What else? Is there anything else that is really jumping out to me? Sorry, I'm looking at the chart on the screen because I can kind of zoom in. It's a tricky emotional time, but it's a very beautiful, very powerful, like, I understand this about myself, or I've recovered this puzzle piece of myself. Something is so brightly illuminated. I'm very inspired, or I really am feeling balance. And wow, I can tap into some sort of vision again. I see that. I think that it'll be detrimental if we're really feeling things, especially in emotional soul bond type connected relationships, family ties. If we're feeling things that really, now I'm not talking about being triggered and I'm not talking about being petty, love and light. Okay. We really just have to be bigger. But what I'm talking about is, something is blocking your autonomy. Something is damaging your authenticity, or we've got an unhealthy codependency pattern. I'm not sitting well with your attachment style. But we could say different things, right? I hope to see us being really brave and courageous about talking about things, about getting things out, because it's just not going to be good to continue carrying this on throughout the year. You could stand to miss a lot of really beautiful arcs because it's almost like you're carrying too much once again in the backpack. You know what I'm saying? I think it could be a lot of revelatory time. I don't know, revelatory time, revelations, child, initiations. Revelations. That makes me think of angels. Initiations. Yeah. I think another concerning thing, though, is that really unchecked, unhealthy, lacking self-awareness, not being grounded in reality, like, whoa, big supermoon in Aries. A lot of dynamics that were stirred up previously in Aries, and now, we've got all this stuff diving back into Pisces. It's this tricky, and then we've got all this fixed water, the scorpionic, right? I do feel concerned about people kind of going way too far off into like, what's the word? Y'all, I said I don't want to use the keyboard, but let me talk. Am I thinking about megalomania? That's the word that Spirit is telling me, but I was hesitant to say it because I'm not as familiar with the meaning. Okay, yes, okay. Megalomaniac. Extreme obsession, power, grandiose beliefs, religion, cult type context. You know what I'm talking about? But it doesn't have to stop there. CEOs. Listen, you could insert a lot of different titles. This is like a very unchecked. Well, I'm going to have a toddler tantrum breakdown in a super full moon in Aries. I don't want to go and take a bath in the Pisces anymore. I don't want to let it go. You know what I'm talking about? I'm seeing someone slam their fist like on a table. I don't want to let my power go, but honey, the drain's already been pulled. The swamp is it's going down. So can you imagine? For some people, it's like arrogance at a halt. I'm seeing someone's head just blow up until it pops. Delusions of grandeur, obsession with power, lack of empathy, arrogance, honey. Just look. Megalomania, I think, is actually like a mental disorder, but I don't know enough about it to really speak any further on it than that. I know megalomaniac in the dictionary says someone who has an unnaturally strong wish for power and control. Anyway, we'll just be mindful of it and hold space and do what we do to alchemize as best as possible. It's definitely something to be aware of, though, and in a unhealthy vibration of like, how you look at people, honey, in the entertainment industry. You can't help. I mean, Neptunian Piscean energy, movies, film, escaping reality, bypassing, or like people get obsessed at government. I don't know. This almost gives like, I'm obsessed that this will save me. And it's so sad, love and light. I feel for it because we're so far gone out of the age of Pisces. There's not a savior. We've integrated that whole experience, the human collective and the collective of energy on earth is evolving and upgrading. Again, Atlas, again, Sirius, Stargate, Port. There's so many things that are pulling us up. Okay. And to me, it's very sad because it's like, you're gonna drown. I'm hearing Atreyu. you can't stay chained to those certain things anymore, but some people will, in their own shadows, behind their own masks. All these timelines, they're drowning, they're falling. You know what I'm saying? So I am concerned about some of that popping out. But what are we going to do? That type of stuff just has to play itself out there, and we'll hold space in the way that we know how. So you can't help but look at some of these energies and think, but we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. I encourage you. I have some private group things going on. I just encourage us, like, share. If you have cord breaking, if you have cleansing, protection, if you have white purification, whatever you're doing. Are you doing candle work? Are you reciting mantras? Maybe prayer is a method for you. I drew candle magic this morning. Was it from the Samhain Oracle? Spirit wants us to speak things, do our rituals, hold space in the collective. It's very powerful. So I'm really going to be encouraging in any way that I can. The age of Aquarius is that no one person does all that work. We hold that space together because there's not, this is coming to save us. Ah, there it is. I knew it. It's not. And that's really sad because some people you can very easily see they're still looking for that. It's very easy to look out and see, and you can see the cognitive dissonance and how far they are from reality, but it's only a matter of time. And that's very positive. And yet at the same time, again, we're detaching because we understand, but we still have compassion because it's like, wow, they can't even see. I'm sure you know a person like this in your life. You probably know a group of people like this in your community or in our country or whatever the case may be. We can see these dynamics playing out. So I encourage you, what is your way? Do you say mantras? Do you go in nature and speak to the spirits in nature? Do you work with water? Do you know that if you get in a bath and you just, you do all your spiritual work, it's so powerful, you release and you do whatever you do in your spiritual bath, you just charged all that water and it's going to return to the earth. That's a beautiful way. Candle magic, any work that you're doing on altar, writing things down, write things in your journal. Maybe you're like, I really can't muster the strength to be in a group of people, but I have this favorite candle, and I'm going to light it, and I have these mantras. Maybe you do crown chakra mantras. Maybe you do a guided meditation. Maybe you write down positive affirmations, things of gratitude. So many things you can do, right? Let's offer that out to the collective, though, over the next couple days. I think it's super important that we all are doing that in the way that we can, and that it's really high vibrational. It's really positive. So I hope we all do what we can in whatever way we can for that. Let's see what the adorable Halloween tarot, has to say for us. Again, it's just too cute to not fully appreciate it. If you love tarot like I do, I would definitely encourage it's a good one for your collective for the season. Spirit, ancestors, and team. Our ancestors, both galactic and earthbound. The energy of the dragons, the angels, the energetic frequency of, I don't know, I feel led to say the ultraviolet ray. Wow, maybe this super moon is really doing a high level burn off of a lot of that dross. And don't we need it? I know we do. But I know that we're still going to be brave and determined regardless. Spirit, ancestors, and team, we ask for messages that are in service of the highest and best good. What do we need to see for this full moon energy? Is there a tarot? Whoa, child. Those cards about threw themselves out. Hold on. Goodness. All right, guys, let's see what we have. Okay, we have the Four of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. Let me tell you what these two have in common is offering gratitude. We've been talking about keys, master keys, gratitude. Both of these have in common also is that you're being urged to pause, return to gratitude, pause, give thanks. Okay, pause and be reflective here. Okay. Spirit is reminding me too, we're going to read the book because I think her little book is so great. I always call this Seven of Pentacles is the juice worth the juice worth the squeeze. Okay. You may be evaluating things that are no longer empowering you. You have a different level of self-assertiveness, self-awareness, again, bravery and courage. You know what? It's not authentic for me anymore. And it's not that we are trying to be selfish, but understanding who you are is not selfish. And in the age of Aquarius, you're going to get dragged. You will learn. You know who you are, right? You'll learn. But I would love for you to be able to learn that like a dance. We all as Aquarians want that for everyone. But honey, you're going to get dragged. I'm trying to tell you, I would love to see it not be that way for you. Okay, let's go to Seven of Pentacles. Okay, hold on. We're going to get there. This black kitty is hell-bent on unraveling. It's an unraveling ball of yarn, y'all. It reminds me of the timeline stacking, the 30s, the 60s, the 90s to now. It's almost like things were unraveled so they could come back together again. I'm hearing all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together. What? It's really important, though, that we pause so we can receive these inspirations, these downloads, this powerful, illuminating energy. And it is big crown chakra energy. I'm sorry. Okay. The ball of yarn just got me, though. Cord cutting. I don't know. For some, maybe you're practicing that. It's messy and tiring work. Sometimes they get all tangled up and it feels frustrating. And yet, sometimes it can actually be lots of fun. Little by little, the kitty detangles the strings and is encouraged by the progress. Oh, that's what we're all doing. I'm telling you, y'all. Hold on. It's what we're doing. One day, surely, their yarn goal will be untangled and complete. This has something to do with the way that timelines work. Amalgamation. You can't put a puzzle back together. It was taken apart first. I'm hearing like Kabbalistic type of references to shards of light, lost in the husks, if you know. This is about the long game. This card reminds us that the effort we put into the present may not yield results for a long while yet. It's the girl going back up. She had to get the key. Do you see what I'm saying? But she couldn't open that door, but it was always there waiting for her. But with perseverance, every day we are one step closer. Be patient and stay the course. Your hard work will pay off. Absolutely. We must approach situations like this, and really, Spirit is like these times that we're in right now, with patience and care. Patience. Spirit is like, say it again, well, patience, okay? When you delay instant gratification for long-term rewards, this card is at play. This has something to do with the Venus-Saturn opposition, maturing, consuming less. Something about the collective being fed a lot of distractions. No. Just eat some more. Just drink some more. Play another game. Shh. Go to sleep. It's okay. Go to sleep. Close your eyes. And everybody's like, no. Okay. When you delay instant gratification for long-term rewards, this card is at play. It's a bit like adulting. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Saturn. I'm sorry. It's a bit like adulting. It's not super sexy or spontaneous, but it is still, it is still a form of self-care. That is so Venus and Virgo too to say. This is how the goals we set in the Ace of Pentacles become a reality. Please understand that, right? Spirit showing me like, okay, the seeds being planted at different points on these timelines. But they weren't going to sprout until certain timelines folded back over. What? And then it's like a big sunflower sprouts up, and we're just now seeing it. But imagine being in the 60s and putting like a flower down on the ground and seeing people getting lynched and being like, is this ever going to stop? Do you get, I don't know. I'm just channeling, right? Please don't. What actions am I taking that will contribute to my goals and the goals of the highest and best good of the collective, right? How can I stay motivated when the results haven't shown up yet? Ooh, child, this is my personal life too. I'll write that down later, Spirit. Let's also read the Four of Cups. Man, that was right on, though. You know who you are. This creature of the night has acquired quite a collection of cups. There was a mouse with the chariot, and we were talking about, is it really a mouse? Is it a man or something with Cinderella? This creature of the night has acquired quite a collection of cups, each one unique and standing tall when stacked together. But this unsatisfied rodent is only noticing what they lack. Focused on what's beyond the stars, not taking account of what's really here. This is grounding back down as well. Because at the same time, right, very Libran is balance and harmony. We do need those beautiful inspirations of the stars. We need channeled messages. We need the light lane. We need all these things, right? Very Atlas. Is it a comet? Is dusting us with this beautiful cosmic energy, in our little tiny baby small little pocket. You look at some of these other galaxies and like, we're such a little baby off in the cut, y'all. Bless us. It's a good thing, but all in perspective. We still have to come back down and ground back in, right? They ought to be careful when wishing for more just because. In an attempt to climb higher and higher, too many stacked cups will surely topple. I'm hearing Tower of Babel. What? Maybe someone will resonate. I'm also hearing Babylon. Interesting. This card is a warning that we are not grateful for what we have, or we are focusing on the wrong things. Child. Ego is never satiated and nothing is ever enough. So when we let it take charge, it often leads us astray. We may be bored and dissatisfied with our lives, or feeling disappointed or stagnant in our own results. Four of Cups asks us to take a pause and reevaluate our lives. We are asked to really consider what we want and why we find it important. A scarcity mindset leads to apathy, and we are convinced that no one gets it. I feel that. I feel that. We all go through that, right? It can be easy to stay stuck here, but the Four of Cups urges us look around and gain perspective of all the abundance and support actually available. Sometimes we're blinded by our own illusion of lack so much that we miss the boundary and beauty. The bounty. What did I say? Boundary. Okay. We miss the bounty and beauty life offers. It is time to stop sabotaging our own well-being and take stock of what we are grateful for. To keep or find balance in life, it will be necessary to let go rather than to add more. You see how appropriate this is. Let go of people, situations, or responsibilities that clutter your mind and your path. It will take some quietness and introspection indeed. Okay. And this could have already been happening for you in cycles this whole year, because this is kind of the name of the Virgo game here, right? Do the best you can with what you have. We're going to need to learn how to be that way for some cycles now coming ahead, okay? We are. That's not going to change anytime soon. Uranus soon is going to return back to Taurus as well, and we're going to be tapping into this vibration again. Do the best you can with what you have. You might actually find you have everything you needed after all. What am I grateful for, and how may I step into this feeling more often? What opportunities are in alignment with my goals, and what can I let go of to make more room for what I seek? Definitely writing down gratitude. Sometimes you're just like, man, this whole collective is just overwhelming the shit out of me. You know what? Make a gratitude list. Start small. Find those glimmers. That's a way to contribute, right? Maybe you light a candle and you just write what you're grateful for. Okay, we're gonna also pull a card from Stacey DeMarco's Halloween Oracle, and then I'm gonna love y'all and leave y'all and get into my full moon readings with my full moon families. Continue to bottle up some oils and get things together for these boo boxes, which are so fun, by the way. Like, what a fun inner child activity. I love it. Okay, let's see what we have, Spirit. All right, we have ghost, regret. Ooh, interesting indeed. Okay, let's read from her book, Ghost, Regret. Like smoke rising from the ashes, a mist from the sea, the dead they are watching, they have come to haunt me. Ooh, okay. What do we... Why am I thinking of the movie Crimson Peak? Maybe there's a message there in that storyline or the movie. Maybe that's something for someone. Love that movie. Okay. The traditional definition of a ghost is the apparition of the spirit or soul of a formerly living being. Ghosts can be both in human form or animal, and even occasionally inanimate objects, such as ghostly ships that have been reported. The belief in spirits and ghosts is extremely widespread across time and cultures, and different words such as spiritus, wraith, phantom, and shade have been used to refer to them. Ghosts can be both people that we have known, ancestors, for example, who visit to assist us. Yes, I realize that we can really dig into the term ghost and break it down. I understand there's lots of different terminology that means different things. I'm very close to someone who's a very powerful medium. So I get that, but we're not trying to get on all that right now, okay? The concept of the haunted, let's go back. Ghosts can be both people that we have known, ancestors, for example, who visit to assist us, or presence that are bound, or a presence bound to a particular place because they have found it difficult to let go even after death. The concept of the haunted house or the cursed place. Ooh, there are layers and layers to this, you guys, like land and what is connected to land and karmic things that have to pay out. I was trying to say play out, but Spirit is saying pay out. We don't escape that. Something about people who are like ghosts, but they're in bodies. Ooh, I don't know what Spirit is trying to say with that. I'm just going to leave that there. Like a person living every day in their own haunted house, but it's them. I don't know, something like this. In fact, the most interesting ghost stories often involve a very angry or destructive spirit coming back to wreak its revenge after death. The Old Norse word for ghost had the same root word as the word fury. It is said that the spirits that cannot let go of this world have a reason for this. Sometimes it is to warn the living, to guide them, but generally it is because they haven't finished their business here on the plane of the living. They have regrets that they wish to resolve. Should the ghost card come gliding into your life during divination, it could indicate that you have some regrets to let go of. Holding grudges or regrets is burdensome work, and it weighs us down eventually. Ooh, and we were talking about the stars and the different things that are trying to lift us up, right? The whole timeline as well. By taking actions to free ourselves of these old burdens, we clear the way for more rightful and wise action. Very supermoon in Aries, right? Brave, courageous, right, divinely inspired. We clear the way for more rightful and wise action for the future. We can begin to live again fully if we let go of what was and step into new possibilities. Yes, so appropriate for this energy. All right, you guys, this is what I have for us for this beautiful super full moon in Aries. I look forward to connecting with you guys again soon. All right, love you guys. Take good care. Bye.